Okay, hi, this is DJ Dan Dan, and I have Kervyn Mark on the other line. And Kervyn, I just want to get your permission to record the call, and we'll go from there then.
Permission granted.
Okay, so let's get right to it. So, Kervyn, I mean, you've been around the whole DJing thing for a long time, so just tell us a little bit about you to introduce you to our audience here.
So basically I've been DJing consistently since the late 70s.
Wow.
Yep, I've been playing since the late 70s. It started out, like block parties and all different parties. Eventually got into doing college parties, then the club
Wow.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of colleges, especially in the early 80s, early to mid 80s. And then I started to get into clubs in the late 80s, and I've been doing that ever since.
So now, who were some of your early influences?
Well, my first influence, and perhaps my main influence, was my cousin, Crosby, who he had been DJing since the 60s.
Oh, wow.
And, and that was basically in Brooklyn, in venues like the Wishco Manor, the Biltmore Ballroom. He was kind of really tied into the Caribbean community.
Okay.
And he was playing mostly for those Caribbean parties. And, he really had a name. And I was really young, and I was really digging what he was doing. I thought it was really cool. And we wanted to do, and we would also have parties in my basement, and these were like fundraisers.
Oh wow! Okay.
For a political party, and we would have these parties, and sometimes my cousin would come and DJ, or we would have other DJs. It was basically a one turntable, but we would still have like 200 people in my basement.
Okay.
Seriously. 200 people. And when they couldn't get a DJ, they would ask me to DJ.
Okay.
So I would be DJing, bartending, doing everything all at once at the age of 10 years old, playing for these grown-ups. And that really gave me the fever that I really wanted to play, just to play. Not that it would be a career, but I just wanted to play.
Okay.
And and those were my formative years. I got into the hip hop thing, of course, in the late 80s, in the late 70s. My heroes then were Grandmaster Flash, Grand Wizard Theodore, Gold Crush Brothers. I was really got into that. And then my first club thing was when I heard Larry play, and the rest is history. Once I heard Larry Levan, then and Tony Humphreys and Murray Bob on the radio, I got the fever and to the club thing. Yeah.
Wow. What's interesting too is that I would say almost all the DJs that I've interviewed have a background also in hip hop, and some point they got into club. So now you said, it's pretty interesting. So it's pretty consistent. Now like you said, Larry Levan, you said was the one one of the major ones you heard, and then you started getting into the whole club scene, correct?
Yeah, because the hip hop thing, I was really, really, really into it.
Okay.
I mean, I was part of a crew out here. I grew up in East New York. I'm still up in East New York, and I was part of a DJ rap crew called Magnificent Sounds.
Okay.
And our DJ, the main DJ at the time, he was only 14 years old, but he was definitely one of the best around in terms of cutting and scratching. And also I went to Brooklyn Tech, and Brooklyn Tech, which had a population of like 5,000 students,
Oh wow,
There
that's
was
a big school.
yeah, it's a massive school, and what makes it different is a specialized school. So we had students from all over the city. It
Mm.
wasn't a neighborhood school. It's a you know you took a test to get in there. So
Okay.
we had a lot of students from the Bronx,
Oh wow.
and
Mm.
yeah, there you go. So since they
Mm.
were coming from the Bronx, they were bringing on the flash tapes, all these different hip hop tapes, and
Mhm.
that's how I got the fever. That's how I got the fever into the hip hop thing. So and the interesting thing is part of my crew. Um,
Mhm.
before he became famous, Tony Moran was my rap
Mhm.
partner.
Okay.
Tony Moran from the Latin Rascals. He was
Okay.
my rap.
Sure.
Yeah, that was my rap
Mm.
partner in high
Wow.
school. Yeah.
Wow. So you used to rap at one point, you saying?
Yeah,
Then you switch
yeah.
it?
I used to rock the mic. I used to rock the mic. I used to rock the mic. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Wow.
used to rock
I
the
bet you a
mic.
lot of people don't know that. I bet you a lot of people don't know that, do they?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know. So let's keep it that way. I
Wow.
used to rock the mic. Yeah.
Who
So there you go.
who are
Mhm.
some of the you mentioned Tony Humphries. I know Tony Humphries is still bringing the fire. I just saw him back in March, him and Louis Vega,
Yeah.
and they had, and then of course Jihad Muhammad. That was they had a Tony's 40 year anniversary of being in the business. So I know
Yeah.
some of these guys. Are there any DJs that you like today that you think are bringing the fire?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, interesting you should bring that up. I gotta really give that some thought.
Hmm.
But I would rather name some younger cats because
Okay. Hmm.
you know they're guys like wow, that's a good one. Well, there's
Hmm.
Hard Hitting Harry. I like the way he plays.
Okay.
Um, there's J Lock. I've always liked the
Hmm.
way Jay plays. You know, there's
Hmm.
Jihad Muhammad. Jihad is steady. There's
Hmm.
Beloved. Beloved plays I love
Sure.
the way Beloved plays.
Hmm.
Excellent. There's the kid Amir. I think for his
Yeah.
age, I think Amir is incredible
Yes.
for his age.
Uh huh.
There's him. The Martinez brothers.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
I love the Martinez brothers. I think they're awesome. Yeah,
Hmm.
those are the guys. Those are the
Okay.
guys. Those are the guys to me who are bringing it. They bring all phases to the game. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Now, how about this? How about some of your favorite artists, like some of the classics? And I'm gonna say, living and not living and today. And the reason I say living and not living only because, um, again, Soulful House has been around for some time, and some of the artists are no longer with us. So, who are some
Yeah.
of maybe the classics that you like, and then talk
Well,
about some stuff that
well,
you like today? Hmm.
well, there's no doubt that Lolita
Oh
got
yes.
away.
Oh yes.
Okay,
Oh
so
yes.
I'm gonna be basically lacing this with divas. So it's gonna be Lolita,
Okay. Uh huh.
Jocelyn Brown,
Sure. Uh huh.
um, um, Martha Wash, who
Okay. Sure.
actually
Mhm.
Martha is my favorite out of
Okay.
everybody. So I've always loved Martha, and
Mhm.
even when she was with the Two Tons of Fun,
Sure.
I just love her.
Mhm.
Um, and Colonel Abrams was great.
Mhm.
He was really really good.
Mhm.
In terms of guys now, um,
Okay.
there's this guy, Tony Mamrell. I really love the way he sings.
Tony
There's
Marnell. Okay.
Omar. Yes, there's
Okay.
Omar.
Oh,
Omar is really great.
okay.
There's Nathan, what's Nathan's name? Nathan Adams.
Mhm.
Another one
Okay.
is really, really good. And,
Okay.
in terms of songstresses, um, um, there's still, India still
Sure.
is fire when she does it.
Mhm.
Um, oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank?
So
There's too many. There's just too many. There's just too many. That's what it is. Oh, of course. How could I forget, Monique Bingham? I mean,
Oh,
come on,
sure.
Monique.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's doing stuff. She's doing good stuff. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
Monique. Without question. And Josh Milan. And
Yes.
Josh Milan.
Yes. Yes.
And Josh Milan. Yep.
A lot of people like Anger, but you know what my favorite song by Josh Milan is, and a lot of people don't know about this song here. It just never got the love, in my opinion. And I
Mm-hmm.
heard, and Kenny Dope did it with him. Um, uh, um,
I know this
it's
song.
called Be a Freak. Be a Freak.
Yes. That
Huh?
song, it's so funny you bring it up because I usually talk to, I don't know if you know Shorty SDS from Analog. He's,
Look, I know him. I've met him. He probably doesn't know me from Adam, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
we agree that that song was so well produced
yeah,
that is an excellent song.
yes.
And that it has global traction and that it's just
Mhm.
a great song. So yes, I would agree
Mhm.
with you. I can tell you a quick story about
Yeah.
Josh
Okay.
that really moved me. This is gotta be this is a while ago. So Louis, of course, did
Mhm.
his album,
Mhm.
the Elements album,
Yeah,
the Elements
right.
was Life album, and
Mhm.
he had a show at this club Marquee in
Mhm.
West Manhattan, which was on 28th and 10th Avenue. So he had
Mhm.
a show. It was a live show with his Elements of Life band,
Mhm.
and Josh was asked to perform, and
Mhm.
Josh performed Donny Hathaway's One Day We'll All Be Free.
Okay.
And I've always told Josh that is one of the greatest performances I've ever heard. He
Mhm.
literally brought me to tears that night with the way he said first of all he sounded like Donnie, and
Mhm.
it was awesome. It was awesome. So
Mhm.
I have Josh is super talented, and I just have him in the highest
Mhm.
regard
Mhm.
in terms of what he can do and what he has done. So there it is.
Well, as a person who is into Soulful House, Josh Milan, I would say some people I would like to meet. Josh
Yeah.
Milan is definitely one of them. I've heard Naeem speak highly of him. I've heard
Yeah.
Sultan from SMB speak highly of
Yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
and also too other people I don't have never met him, but I see it looks like he's a magician, not magician. Well, I could say a magician because he's a
Yeah.
musician.
Yes.
He's a
Yes.
musician. It looks like he's a DJ also. It looks like he's definitely a writer, a singer, producer. He does all that stuff, and I've heard people say nothing but good things. He's a very kind person and also a
Yeah.
very helpful person. So that's what I know of Josh Milan. He's certainly on one of my bucket lists of people to actually meet. But anyway,
It'll be, I believe it or not, it'll be easier than you think. He is an exceptional. He is. First of all, he's my friend, and he's an exceptional. I can say an exceptional human being. Exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
Exceptional. You will never hear anyone say anything bad about Josh. He is loved, and there's a reason why he's loved. He's exceptional. Very
Mm-hmm.
giving guy. Yeah.
Yes. Well, like I said, that's what I see from afar.
Yeah.
Let me, now, let me ask you this. Where do you see Soulful House music going?
Well, that's a very interesting question
Mm-hmm.
because um, I think it's very divergent in where it's going. I think there's traditional,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that there's an Afro element that has crept up into it, and
Right.
then there's a deep element that has crept into it. So the deep element would be like the guys like Opolopo,
Yes.
Soul
Mm-hmm.
Clap,
Mm-hmm.
even Still Run It. These guys, they bring a deep element to Soulful House.
Right. Right.
And actually, that is becoming more and more popular with the
Mm-hmm.
younger generation. The younger
Mm-hmm.
generation really is digging the deep Soulful House, much more
Right.
so than the traditionalists. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
the traditionalists, who are still, into the Vega sound or the Jazz Milan sound, or the DJ Spen, which is very traditional. I mean, DJ Spen right now, for my money, is the number one soulful house. He's the number one soulful house producer, hands down. No one comes close. No one comes close. He's it. So he's traditional. He's traditional. He's uncompromising in that tradition, and so you have him. And like I said, then you have the Afro element where you have guys like Jahad and these guys, Ian Friday, who bring that element to it, you know. Right. And so that's where I see it going. I think that I still think there's a bright future for it. In terms of production. Now, in terms of it being played in clubs, we don't know about that. I think that ship is very is slowly taking on water. But I think its salvation can come from, if it ever gets traction, in festivals, and I think that will be the determining factor of where it goes. If people do festivals and they include that music in their festivals along with other music, I think that the future of it will be good, as long as and as well as if there are young DJs who come in and play that music, you know. You know, the only thing I think that's the problem for me is unfortunately that it hasn't gotten enough traction with the young blacks and Hispanics. That's that's a big concern for me.
Okay. I have a couple thoughts I want to share with you. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been into Soulful House before I knew the name Soulful House. I tell the story. The first time I ever heard the word house music, I thought that meant music that you played in the house. I didn't really realize what was going on. But anyway, my goal, my mission, my dream is to take it to the public. And one day you come, just like if you right now, if you go to your radio, you can turn on hip hop, you can turn on R&B, you can turn on rock and roll, you can even play country. But Soulful House, it's in the middle of the night, in the dark, in the back. Give three secret password, do 2 backflips. Okay, now it's door number 1. It's such a hidden thing. I think if people hear it, they will like it. There will be an audience for it. You know, and here's something else that happened was pretty interesting. I thought, okay, there's a guy, Laid Back Luke, and I met him, and I met Paul Oakenfeld.
I know those guys.
These guys are major EDM guys and trance guys. They fill up stadiums. But what's interesting is I saw Paul Oakenfeld talk, and in his talk, I saw him last year in Las Vegas. In his talk, he started his conversation off with the Frankie Knuckles of the world and also the Soulful House sound. And then I approached him. I said, Paul, listen, you know about this music. You know what it is. I mean, I don't understand why. You know what's up with that? And he said the same thing that Laid Back Luke said. He said my audience isn't checking for it. That's why they don't play. You know, but they don't think. In my mind, they don't think to introduce it to them. And I think that if worse comes to worse, if a Paul Oakenfeld was to introduce that in a stadium full of people, or a Laid Back Luke or some of these guys who will know about it, then I think it could be pretty interesting. Also, too, if you look at Usher, if you look at Neo, and you look at if they do any type of house music, is always dance style, it's always KTU style, is always whatever. They don't do Soulful House, and it's a shame. It's a shame, you know. Anyway, that's my little rant there. Anyway, I'm better now. I got that off.
No, I think definitely the first part, I totally agree with you on that.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day,
Mhm. All right.
at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
I still maintain that Soulful House originated in the Black Club.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
it is our responsibility as such to
Mhm.
get it there to our young Black youth and a
Mhm.
young Hispanic youth. Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's music that's intuitive to them. You understand where I'm going with this?
Yes,
And
I
so
do.
since it is intuitive to them, look,
Mhm.
Kanye went and he took
Mhm.
Mr. Finger's song
Yes.
and he
Uh-huh.
made it right, and look what he did
Mhm.
with it, and it became a
Mhm.
massive hit. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
when
Right.
kids found out where it came from, they were like, "Ooh, you know." He not only that, of course, Barbara Tuckett. He also
Sure.
used
Keep inside.
yep,
Mhm.
used
Mhm.
inside.
Mhm.
So my point is, if it is introduced to these kids cleverly,
Mhm.
right? And you're
Mhm.
making the point that that's one group, but I'm talking
Mhm.
about the fact that we have kids in our community that are not
Mhm.
exposed to it because we haven't gone out of our way to expose it to them first. If we went out of our way to expose it to them,
Mhm.
then it may get legs in the underground, and then it can become above ground in the stadium, just like hip
Mhm.
hop did, just like all the other
Right.
shit, just like trap music did. It has to
Mhm.
have a home that is intuitive to it, and I just think that
Mhm.
that's the problem. So
Mhm.
that's a conundrum we're in, and we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
That's it.
Interesting. And I think that's an
Mm-hmm.
interesting thought for me as a person who wants to see this go forward. Gives me another way to look at it, to try to promote this, try to get this thing out there. I listen. I mean, you know, and I know people love it. People dance to it. People can exercise to it. They can, if you can listen to it. You can have it in your shop. You know, especially if you have an avant-garde type place. You can play. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so acceptable. But I think also too, just going back to your point, if we get it in our community and grow, well, we tend to be trendsetters a lot in music anyway.
Of
And so
course.
if we say it's hot, at some point other people will say it's hot too. So there's something to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the point. I'm
Mhm.
glad you said it. That's exactly what I'm saying. And
Mhm.
like I said, but we have to get it to the youth. You know,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
DJ Amirs are very, very important because,
Yes.
I make this, I usually do a video,
Mhm.
well, I'm sure you see the video that I do once in a while on
Mhm.
Facebook where I talk about the scene. And
Mhm.
one thing the point that I've made is that the kids nowadays don't want to be partying with their parents. And I get
Right.
that.
That's another issue. Mhm.
Yeah, they don't want to, and I get that.
Right.
And
Right.
you know what?
Uh-huh.
To some degree, we were kind of the same way. To
Right.
some
Not
degree,
not not kind of. We were the same way.
we are the same way.
Listen,
We didn't want to do it.
mommy, you're
So
embarrassing me.
thank you, thank you. And that's the message. They didn't understand our music anyway. They were
That's
like,
right. That's right.
you know, yeah. So
Mhm.
I get that. So all I'm saying to you is that we got to be clever in trying to get these kids. And the way they're
Mhm.
gonna do it is they gotta see their peers getting
Mhm.
into it,
Right. Right.
and the DJ or mayor's got to be playing for them.
Mhm.
It's one
Mhm.
thing to be playing it's one thing to be playing at all these Jersey festivals, but most of the
Right.
time if you're gonna be playing for 50-year olds, what's the sense in
Right.
that? You know? You gotta be
Yeah.
playing for kids, man. Yeah.
Uh-uh. You're right.
See?
That's the
Yeah.
that's that's the way to get to do that. That's the $64,000 question. That's the 64,000 question.
My thing is
Mhm.
he's young enough now. He's young enough
Uh-huh.
now,
Uh-huh.
and if the right person, was hungry enough to get him out there, they could get him to play at those events easily because of his age. It's much easier for you to sell, I got this 16, 17-year-old kid. He plays this music. He's really good at it. You need to put him on. Watch. They'll do it. They'll do it because people will find it cute. People will find it cute. Yep. So that's how it's easy to do that, man. I posed that question to somebody the other day who's on a major radio station. I said, why don't you put Amir on? You should have him at least once a month to do your show. Oh, and I was like, nah. Nope. You're not getting it. That's how you cultivate.
Right.
A following.
Right. Interesting. I'm glad we're having this conversation. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, like, we kind of had some conversation about it, Soulful House is really the original music in terms of original house music. And now you've got all this offspring like EDM, you have trance, and then as you mentioned, and more we got the Afro influence in there, and also the deep influence here. But then you've had techno, you have all. So Soulful House, of course they came up with the name as a way to identify it and all of this stuff that was going on. In my opinion, it hasn't gotten the love it deserves. And what's your thoughts on that? And
my thoughts can only be what I know here in America. I can't speak on overseas. I know it got plenty of love. I know it got plenty of love overseas. Tons of love overseas. That is in the UK. It was the music, and it still is in other quarters. But all I can speak on is here in America. And unfortunately, the problem here in America was that we just did not turn it over. I'm going to say it again. We did not turn it over to the kids. We kept it to ourselves. We kept it to ourselves. We were like, the pivotal point was in the 90s when we were in our late 20s, going into our mid 30s, and a lot of us were still aspiring to play and to be that guy. And as a collective, we were slowly aging out and didn't realize that we were aging out. And we weren't bringing anybody new for no other reason because hip hop had already started to take its hold as the industry grew farther and farther away from dance music. And of course, dance music, house, became more and more underground, and it became about the mid-level labels like Strictly Rhythm and those. They couldn't compete with, they didn't have the distribution that, of course, Warner and CBS and these others had. So it became put in the back burner. And that's why here, as time went on, we aged out. The scene has aged out. And unfortunately, we just haven't been able to capture the imagination of a younger audience, at least the generation directly after ours. That's when we start to lose it.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I said interesting because it makes a lot of sense. I remember back in probably in the 80s, which is amazing because I only publicly admit to being 26 years old. But anyway, that's another point, another story. Anyway, but I think even Frank Sinatra, it was like with disco. Even Frank Sinatra came out with a song. They might have had a house version of that. Everybody had a house version of everything. And then after a while, it started to fade. By the time it got to the 90s, you're right, it did start to fade. And I guess there was no passing of the baton. You know,
No.
there was no passing the time. Just kind of like what the way of the water buffalo. You know.
Yes.
And then it went back underground where it came from, and you know, and just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Ah,
You know,
well,
and then there was a lot of social dichotomy happening too.
sure.
You know, you had the gay scene, and the gay scene has always, to some extent, tried to keep its exclusivity, try to keep itself very exclusive,
Okay.
and it was an era, of course, where we had the AIDS epidemic, and there was a backlash against house that it was quote unquote gay music,
Right.
and for whatever wrong reason, you know, they just were like, there was just this backlash against it, and you know, the AIDS epidemic has a lot to do with it, unfortunately.
Right.
And unjustly, by the way, unjustly. So,
Right.
you know, that was another thing that where the youth were just like, oh no, that's gay music. You don't listen to that. Keep it moving.
Right.
That's it.
Right. You're right
You
about
know?
that. You're right about that. You know.
You know?
These are.
And I was, and it couldn't, you know, and it was, and it's sad because it was so funny. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Now, what makes house music so interesting? It is, without question, the first genre which was all inclusive.
Right. Right.
It didn't discriminate.
Right.
Everybody. It was the one genre that did not. There's no misogyny.
Right.
Think about that. There was no
Right.
misogyny.
Right.
Like hip hop would have misogyny and all
Right.
of that. There was no gay. There was no gay bashing. In fact, the lifestyle was celebrated. Okay. If we had to express issues concerning the black community, we did. Political issues, we did, like South Africa and on and on. So it's the one genre which is very, very, it includes everybody.
Right. Right.
Everybody. There's no excluding anybody when it comes to our genre. It never has been. It has been always, you know, welcoming with open arms all those who would attend.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. Wow. Is there anybody that you haven't played with that you would like to play with? DJ with?
Yeah, the first would be Joe Clausen.
Okay. Okay, sure.
And the funny thing is, Joe and myself are very close, but it just never happened. So Joe would be one.
Okay.
And the other would be Timmy. Those are the two.
Oh,
those are the only two.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the only two left that I have shared the decks with. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but those are the two. I've shared it with just about everybody else.
Okay.
You know, I've shared it with Louis. I've shared it with Francois. I've shared it with Danny Kervyn. I've shared it with Utsulade. And Ron Trent. Ron Trent is the other one too. Yes, those are the three. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Now the only one I didn't see out of the ones you mentioned, I haven't seen Ron Trent. I haven't seen him play. In terms of the three that you would like to play with, that's the only one I didn't see. I haven't seen Ron Trent. I haven't seen him yet. Joe Clausel was at last year was at Lincoln Park, and of course he just went berserk there. He was on fire. You know how he jumped up and down and everything.
He owns Lincoln Park. He owns it. He's been doing Lincoln Park. He's done it at least 5 times. He pretty much owns it. Yeah, he owns it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he went berserk. that night.
Yeah.
And then Timmy Regisford, I saw him live at Soul Summit in 2016. Matter of fact, if you look in the video and you look very close for about a half a second, you'll see me there, bopping my head.
Okay.
I was like an extra. You like an extra in the movie?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I was in the booth with him. I was in the booth with him when he was doing it, and Timmy, out of all the DJs, Timmy is perhaps my most influential DJ, without question.
Okay. And what makes you say that?
Yeah, it would. My mixing style. The whole thing about the writing mixes. Yeah, I got that. That's from Timmy. So Timmy would be my first, and Joe would be my second.
Okay.
Those are the two. Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, do you listen?
I have my own now, but those guys, without question. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you listen to any other types of music? So like what kind?
Oh, jazz is first.
Okay. Yeah. Listen. Okay. So let me just tell you the consistency here. Okay. I could tell you almost to a DJ when I say, okay, how did you come up? They say hip hop and stuff like that. But then I say, well, okay, do you listen to any other styles of music? Jazz is the first thing that comes up. Isn't that interesting?
Yes. That's
very interesting.
Yeah. Jazz is it. Jazz is first. And I'm talking about traditional jazz, and I'm talking about smooth jazz. Jazz is number one. Yep. It would be jazz. It would be, then would come soul, old soul.
Okay.
Old soul, yes, old soul, funk and R&B. That would be number two.
Okay.
And three would be 70s pop and rock. Early 70s, like the Carole Kings and the Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really into that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a lady last night, and she started talking about music from back then, and she started talking about Cousin Brucey. I said, all right now. Cousin Brucey, Cousin Bruce. Anyway.
Yep. And then,
wow.
For me, it would be like Dan Ingram. That's
sure.
Before, of course.
Dan Ingram. Okay.
Yeah, Dan Ingram from WABC. And that was before, I got into Frankie and Jerry Bledsoe. Who,
right.
Yeah. Those two guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, what about this? Now, equipment has changed over the years. And so you started with records, then maybe went to CDs, and then people have laptops and flash drives now. And I'd say most people, from my perspective, it seems like the Soulful House guys are the last ones to make a move. You still see, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, I'm just saying, you still see a lot of Soulful House guys still working with CDs, and you see more and more them moving away from CDs to some laptops, but it's almost like in general they skipped over laptops and now going to flash drives. What's your thoughts on this thing?
Well, I think the answer is very simple. First of all, why that is.
Okay.
Again, look at your demographic. Look at your age group. Look at the age group. The age group is not part of that technological age. They're a generation ahead of it. So if you've been playing for 30 to 40 years and you're accustomed to playing a certain way, even though the technology is there, at the end of the day, they would rather what's going to make it easy for them. So in my case, right, I prefer to playing off of thumb drives and external drives straight onto CD players.
Okay.
And the reason that a lot of us do that is because we don't want to get imprisoned by looking into a laptop and not reading on sound.
Okay.
Okay? A lot of us are accustomed to interacting with the crowd and reading the crowd. And that's why we don't get locked into playing off a laptop. That's just a certain segment. You know? Like Pausel would never play off of a laptop. It doesn't serve him any purpose to do that. So, because he needs to interact with the crowd. Same thing with Timmy, you know, and that goes for me. So, I think it's your demographic. It's just that the older cats tend not to really want to play off of laptops, and I get it. I totally get that. While the younger kids, because I just went to an event 2 weeks ago where there was a younger guy, the guy probably in his late 30s. He's playing Station House, he's playing Tribal House, he's playing Afro House, and he was definitely playing off of a laptop. He was using all the technology possible to play at that event, and it was easy for him to manipulate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what's up.
Okay. All right. Now, do you have a residency DJ spot anywhere, or do you play in multiple locations, or how do you work?
No, well, I mean, my resident party right now is the life party that I'm doing with Deuce Martinez.
Okay, absolutely.
Yes, that party. That's the party. That's my residency. That's the one we're doing at CLO. We do it. We're doing it monthly. We're looking eventually to make it twice a month. But right now we're doing it monthly, and that's really what I would just basically call my residence. Correctly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what are some of the events, or where are some of the events that you'll be playing this year? So Cielos, you said, and when is Cielos anyway? Because I saw this thing with you and Deuce Martinez. I didn't realize it was a monthly thing you were doing. And also, too, I saw Deuce play, and he's off the hook, too. He just played.
Deuce could be on my list in terms of guys. He's ridiculous. I know.
Yes.
I mean, we're doing it this Sunday, actually. May 20th, we'll be doing it.
From what time?
5 p.m. to 10.
Okay, now it's on every third Sunday or every something like that, or how does that work?
It's really every second Sunday.
Oh, second Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We did it. We moved it because of Mother's Day. We didn't want to do anything for Mother's Day.
Okay.
So we just moved it this month. Yeah. We moved it this month to the third Sunday. But we're taking a break, and we'll be back in the fall. Yeah, we'll be back in the fall.
So this will be your last Sunday, and then after that you'll be in the fall.
This will be the last Sunday at Cielo, right. We plan to do some things over the summer outdoors, but this will be our last one at Cielo, for sure.
Okay. Now, is there any place you would like to play that you haven't played?
Wow. Yes, there is actually. I haven't played that Output, interestingly enough, which is crazy. I don't know why, but it hasn't happened. So Output, I guess Elsewhere. That's the name of this other club. We have to play Elsewhere. And Brooklyn Mirage. Brooklyn Mirage. And there's one thing I wanted to play at, and it's going to happen. I guess I'll make the announcement. I'm going to be. I've been told I will be playing at the Lincoln Park Festival.
Oh! That's a nice one, and like thousands of people come through there. My goodness.
I know. I've been going from day one. So I will be doing it. I mean, the flyer's not out yet, and I could get into trouble for this, but no.
Okay, well, you know what? We won't say a word. How about that?
We won't say a word. But no, but it's I was told. Yeah.
Okay. Any desires to play in Europe or anything like that?
Hey, dude, anywhere that I could play, I'm gonna play. So yes, I would love to play. I would love to play in France. I would love to play in Amsterdam. I would love to play in the UK. I would love for that to happen one day. I'm getting up there, so hopefully it'll happen soon enough. But I have a feeling it is going to happen. I have a feeling that in about a year or two it's going to happen. I'm starting to travel and play. I'm starting to travel and play a lot more. I just did Atlanta, which was fantastic. And and so I think more and more opportunities are going to be coming my way.
All right. Now, in addition to DJing, are you involved in any other aspects of Soulful House? For example, producing, singing, promoting, etc. I know you got okay. Any you do anything else with Soulful House?
Well, I'm a kind of a different guy. I'm gonna tell you why. Well, yeah, I did do a song, and I did do a song, but that's not my production. It just has never been in my blood to want to produce.
Okay.
What I have done is movies.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I did 2 movies.
Okay. Tell us about it.
Well, this is Maestro. That's documentary. Do you know that movie, Maestro?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't.
Well,
I got the homework going on. I got the homework going here.
You got some homework. You better get on that one. Maestro gives the history of the underground club scene, or at least the origins of the underground club scene. So it discusses Zanzibar, it discusses the garage, and it discusses the loft. And Mancuso is interviewed in there, as well as Tony Humphrey. Yeah, it's a very, very historical film, because there are a lot of people in there who are no longer with us,
right?
Who were interviewed for that film. So it's Maestro-documentary.
Maestro-what is it?
Documentary.
Okay. Because the one that I saw, it seemed like maybe I did, because because what I did, okay. Wait a minute. I think maybe I did see it. It got Larry Levan, some stuff in there, and David Mancuso.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, yes, I did see that. Because what happened? What happened was, I how you go on YouTube and you type in one thing and something else comes up. Well, what happened? I saw the documentary pump up the volume, which is it's sort of like a story on Soulful House, house music, and then it took me to Maestro. Okay, yes. Oh wow, okay, so that was you. Okay, all right, okay, all right now.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
And the second one is called Hands to the Sky.
Hands to the Sky.
Hands to the Sky. And that one, I have the DVD for that one. But I have the DVD for Maestro, but Maestro is really hard to get Maestro right now. It's very hard to get that. Really hard. But Hands to the Sky, that was a film. That film was about documenting all the outdoor Soulful House events. So Lincoln Park is in there. The Clubhouse Jamboree, Little Ray's Clubhouse Jamboree is in there. Coney Island Boardwalk is in there. The Chosen Few Picnic is chronicled.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm really, really proud of that film. That film was superly well produced. And and then there's a segment about the Paradise Garage in there too. So that is those are the 2 films that I've produced, and I'm very, very proud of those films, and people know about them. Maestro is legendary, but Hands to the Sky, which he only released maybe about 2 years ago. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, producing something, that's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah. These films took about 5 years to do each. Maestro took a long time to do.
Wow.
And it was hard. Maestro was extremely hard to do. because we did that film at the turn of the millennium.
Okay.
So the technology back then was very traditional,
Uh-huh.
and it's not like now where you have like Final Cut and all these different,
Right.
you could have do it like on a laptop. No, we had to go to a studio, do the editing and all of that stuff. It was very difficult, very difficult,
Wow.
and expensive, very expensive.
Wow.
Now it's like 1, 2, 3. You could just do it. It costs you nothing. Yeah.
Isn't that something? Well, now
Yeah.
too, in the old days, I should say even 15, 20 years ago, if you wanted to do something or make music, I mean, there were only like a few doors you could walk through. Now with all the YouTube and all the other stuff, I don't have to wait for you to like me. I don't need your approval, Mr. Record Producer, Mr. Record Company, Mr. Record Label. Matter of fact, now I can build my own following, have everybody checking for me, and now Mr. Record Company or Miss Record Company is checking for me. So that's a big difference, I think. You know, in terms of what can be put out, and you just never know of somebody sitting in their room with a laptop and come up with something that's really catchy. And I know a lot of people complain about that because they say, well, that's not real music. You got to play instruments and all that other stuff. But I got to tell you something. I think, no, it's not a musician, but I think people go by whether they like it or don't like it, or they can sweat to it or not sweat to it versus, oh, that was made on a computer, that was made on with some guys or gals in a room drumming and singing whatever. I mean, that's just my thoughts. Wow.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're getting down to the wire here. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share or emphasize anything?
Well, like you, I love my soulful house. I love, I think I'll always love it till the day I die. I do want it to, like you, to be in the conversation like the rest of the genres. I hope that I hope to figure out a way to get our young ones into it and to make it their own, to make it their own.
Right.
I hope to see some young singing talent, singing songs in this genre, by the way.
Right.
And that's it. I really, really hope it happens. That's basically it. To me, I consider myself very fortunate, very lucky, very blessed. For someone who has not produced a ton of music, I've gotten to play and had this long DJ career, and to play in other venues that other people wish they had the opportunity to play. And I played at Body and Soul. Not many people can play that.
Right.
Yeah, they can't. And I've played I've played at most of the major venues. So, with the people. So I've been fortunate and blessed, and for no other reason, I think my talent spoke for itself in a lot of cases. I think my ability to market well has served me well too. So that's it.
All right.
And thanks for this interview.
Absolutely. If people, we'll put it this way, if you want people to reach you for bookings or appearances, I mean, how would they reach you if you want to share that information? Or how can they find you, follow you, whatever?
They can find me on Facebook, man. It's that simple. I'm all over Facebook. Yep. Just go to Facebook. Just type in my name. And reach out to me. You can instant message me. I'm very active. I'm an instant messenger in Facebook. Instant message me, and I respond right away. It's not a problem.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kervyn, for taking time out. I mean, this is a great interview. Of course, I got to go back over it and listen to it because I picked up some nuggets there, and I just appreciate you just taking time out to do it.
Thank you very much. Thank
All
you,
right,
thank
sir.
you, thank you.
Okay. Listen,
Yes,
you have
man.
a great night. You take care.
You too. Take care.
Okay. You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.